Hello there, everybody. It is me, Sacred G, and I talk about video games and a bit of life from time to time. And today I kind of wanted to talk about something that I find very important when it comes to friendships or any type of romantic or, friendly relationships. So let's get started. And that today is accountability. Okay, taking accountability is one of the most important things, at least to me, and I think it should be for pretty much any friendship or romantic relationship. And because, well, one, you own up to the mistake. Two, because it correlates here, you learn from the mistake, if that makes sense. And when you hang around somebody who cannot take accountability, who would rather continue to blame you for something that they partook in. Most of these people can partake in anything and then flip it on you if they cannot take accountability. And the reason I think this is important in all sorts of relationships is because, well, you learn from your mistake. You don't put it on anything. You don't sit there and then say that this person did this. And then, when you're questioned about it, you put it off on something else. You own up to your mistake, if that makes any sense. I personally I dislike people who cannot take accountability. Okay, I've been through this twice in my life so far. There was one encounter I had where I roasted somebody because at the time him and I would do this, and and I'm not saying I didn't have any fault in it. I said some mean things. We both said some mean things. And then I apologized from my end. And then instead of owning up to their end, they would rather make it seem like that I was the problem and I started everything. They said nothing mean at all. Okay, and just recently I had a situation where I was accused of something and that person was wrong, and just recently they were questioned about it and then they blamed their trauma. Okay, that is not taking accountability. Okay? And that thing you may be asking what I was accused of was sexual harassment. And the context is I walked into a room to talk to somebody or to yell at them because I was upset at the time.
All right, so as I was editing this video, I actually just got done with the audio part. I did forget to mention that with the second person I brought up in the video, I mentioned that she played the victim when it was brought up again. To give context to that, the first time I apologized for adding up, or for my end of the whole thing and apologizing for walking in, she decided to open her mouth and say, wow, I can't believe you do that and how much I broke her trust, even though the funniest thing is this is the only time this has happened. And it's like, you were proven wrong. I mean, we proved her wrong earlier that day, and she, walked off without saying shit, so I come to apologize, and she plays the victim, yet again, trying to pretty much excuse the accusation, I guess. So, yeah, so be careful with who you fucking hang out with, ladies and gents. She also wasn't naked. Also want to leave that in there for context's sake, just in case, Anywho, yeah, you guys got to be careful with who you hang out with, because if you're going to be hanging around people, dude, who are going to fucking sit there and make accusations that don't align with what actually happened, which is essentially what happens, like their accusations or what they're saying about you doesn't actually align to what actually happened. They're just trying to grasp at any fucking straw to make you look as shitty as possible.
First of all, they put everything on their trauma or somebody else. Worst of all, they make it's an excuse. They're putting it on something else so that way they can, continue to do the same shit. And that's why I'm saying accountability in terms of friendships, romantic partnership, is important. Okay, it's not that you're saying sorry to make yourself look, like a good person. It's to own up and to accept that you're not perfect. One of the things is, I don't know, you guys could view this however the fuck you want to view this, but I personally like owning up to my mistakes because I know for a fucking fact that I am not, a terrible person, and most of us aren't. Okay, we all have, negative qualities about ourselves, but I like owning up because I can learn to better my own self. People who cannot take accountability, They never learn. They don't even learn and improve themselves. They would rather sit back and still blame the shit that happened to them several decades ago. Okay? That's their whole gist. I know I talked about this with the whole people playing the victim, but I didn't go. I thought that I didn't go that into detail about, why it's important to take accountability. And it's to own up. It's to say that you're not perfect and you will not do it again. Okay, and especially if you apologize specifically for the thing that you did, if that makes any sense. Because if you're dealing with somebody who cannot take accountability, that would never happen. Okay, and about the apologizing thing, about how you can't, force people to apologize. If they don't apologize on their own intuition, on their own initiative, then that's on them. Okay? Don't be like, well, you didn't apologize for this, bruh. You didn't apologize for this, so blah, blah, blah. Just let them do what they're gonna do. Let them be. And to be honest, I'm gonna be 100% real here. People who do this and who do not apologize, they don't actually view you the same way you view them, if that makes sense. And there is a big chance that they don't like you. And so they'll take whatever situation and try to hone in on that situation to try to make you out to be a bad person. Okay, the thing is, the second story I told, we don't know each other that well. So, imagine this. You're getting to know somebody, whether that be a friend's girlfriend or whatever the fuck it is. You're getting to know somebody new. And then, you accidentally walk in on them. Context, maybe you're mad at the person they were in the room with, and you wanted to talk to them, but then instead they say, well, because you walked in, that's sexual harassment, even though sexual harassment is pretty much you touching them and having sexual intentions and pretty much talking to that person, okay? And you barely know this person. Yeah, I don't think you're going to be viewing them in a positive light. And I think you're going to have a hard time trusting this person, because that happened to me. We're all different, But when that sort of stuff happens and you get accused of something serious, or, it's all flipped on you, the reason they're doing it is because, well, they found an opportunity to. That's my personal fucking belief, is when they find something to make you look bad, they will hone in on it, like I just said earlier. That's why it's important to meet people who can take accountability. Sometimes these people will over-apologize for things they don't need to apologize for. And the funny thing is, because they're taking too much accountability, okay? And those people are fine. But the people who don't ever do this shit, they're not fine, okay? They're not worth hanging around. Because if they're accusing you of stuff and they're having a hard time coming to terms with it, for whatever reason, they're going to do it again. Because, like I said in the victim player video, and it applies here, they're putting it on something or someone else. And they're brushing it off. So, accountability is very important, people. You make a mistake, own up to it. Own up to it. There's no reason to lie. There's no reason to blame shift. Own up to it. Like, yeah, you were wrong in your assessment. It was an accident. But anywho, that's me, Sacred G. Own up to your fucking mistakes. That's all I wanted to talk about, because I find accountability to be the most important factor in any relationship. That also goes for, of course, romantic relationships and friendships. So that's me, Sacred G. Thank you all for watching and listening. And again, please take accountability for your own mistakes, if, it's necessary to do so, and you did make a mistake. So, without further ado, it's me, Sacred G. See you in the next video. Peace the fuck out. Thanks for watching and listening. Stay lovely. Peace.